Leroy Anderson and his family were in Woodbury, Connecticut, staying at a cottage owned by his wife's family. He had been released from active duty in the Army, and housing was in short supply. While staying in the cottage, a July heat wave hit. Anderson began composing several tunes at this time, including Sleigh Ride, which he envisioned as a musical picture of winter long ago, like a picture print by Currier and Ives. Please enjoy Sleigh Ride. Thank you so much. At St. Matthew's, which is just right across the river in Annandale, we start ringing bells in the 3rd grade with the Rainbow Ringers, learning to play off of lettered charts. 4th through 6th grade are the Praise Ringers, and they spend their time in rehearsal learning to read music, participating in our Sunday worship services. The Celebration Ringers are grades 7 through 9. They meet every Tuesday night and enjoy sharing their music at our Sunday services and other venues such as the Salvation Army Rehabilitation Center and the Goodwin House in Alexandria. The Carol Ringers are our most advanced high school group. Many of the Carol Ringers performing for you today started ringing in 3rd or 4th grade. Could you guys raise your hand? Yeah, all of them. They are also extremely active in sharing their music with others. They have performed at the Kennedy Center, the State Departments, and various other venues throughout Washington. They tour every summer, performing at various churches, retirement homes, and handbell festivals. We are looking forward to a tour this year. We're headed to the Festival Conference in Hartford, Connecticut. The spiritual, Go Tell It on the Mountain, is arranged by Joel Rainey. It starts with an ethereal opening, and the tune appears first in fragments and supported by singing bells and bass choir chimes until finally moving forward to a driving presentation of this Christmas spiritual. We welcome Carol Workman to the stage on synthesizer. Carol Fantasy is Arnold Sherman's arrangement of the classic Ukrainian carol known as Carol of the Bells. A repetitive four-note melody was originally a Ukrainian folk song written as a winter well-wishing song. In 1916, Ukrainian composer Mykola Lentovich entitled Shedrik, or Bountiful. The song tells the tale of a swallow flying into a household to proclaim the plentiful year that the family will have. Using the repetitive four-note melody and the original folk lyrics of Shedrik he found in an anthology of Ukrainian folk melodies, he created a completely new work for choir. Its first performance took place on January 13th, 1916, New Year's Eve in the Julian calendar. Thank you. while the peace ringers get set for their portion of the show, I want to tell you that I am grateful for a lot of people this weekend, and I would like to take this moment to acknowledge and thank them. Pastor Mike Plasters and his staff, Carol Workman, the director of music, G.B. Hansen, assistant to the director of music, and her family, Nancy Capel, who started this entire program in 1973 and built it until her retirement in 1919. She now enjoys playing in the ensemble. And she's back over here. Wave, Nancy. We've had a lot of fun over the years. I am thankful for the incredible musicians that are in my choirs and their families that support us. My family, who at any moment are asked to come sub, move equipment, play percussion, etc. All of St. Matthew's handbell from here and close by and far away that have been part of our handbell family. I am so very humbled and I'm grateful. The Peace Ringers are one of the 2 adult choirs at St. Matthew's. Like the Carol Ringers, we've got a couple of people here who have been ringing since they were kids here at St. Matthew's, and now their children are ringing. We rehearse 2 hours every Wednesday night and praise God with music through our Sunday services, attend festivals for advanced ringers in New York, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. The Peace Ringers' first selection is Veni, Veni, Emmanuel. A chant of French origin, Veni, Veni, Emmanuel, or O Come, Emmanuel, forms the basis of this Christmas arrangement. Along with the French melody Picardy, Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silent, and the Gregorian Christmas chant, Puer Nutus Est, A Child is Born to Us, the listener experiences the longing of the world for the arrival of the Savior. An energetic, malleted bass bell section leads to an exuberant concluding section where Veni, Veni, Emmanuel and Picardy are overlaid. The final triumphant statement of the Puer Natus Est chant signals the arrival of Christ. Please enjoy. Thank you so much. Tchaikovsky's Dance of the Reed Flutes from the Nutcracker Suite was arranged for bells by William Griffin and truly captures the essence of the orchestral work. In the second act of the Nutcracker, main characters Clara and Prince arrive at the land of sweets, where they are welcomed by the sugar plum fairy. Everything Clara could see was made of sugar, trees laden with sweets, a gleaming palace built out of jelly beans, and a shiny white roof made of icing. When the sugar plum fairy learns of the daring battle with the mice army, she rewards them with a celebration of dances. Dance of the Reed Flutes is also known as Dance of the Mirlitons. A mirliton is both a small pipe and a tube-shaped French sweet. Please enjoy Dance of the Reed Flutes. Our next piece, Resonances and Alleluias, is an original composition by Kathy Mockelbust. It was commissioned in honor of Fred Graham, the arranger of Veni, Veni, Emmanuel. It opens with a rhythmic fugue in a minor key that appears in a variety of ways throughout the work. After a short meditative middle section, the piece concludes with a joyful allegretto. Thank you so much. That's a fun one. The Coventry Carol is an English Christmas carol, a 16th century carol originating from Coventry. It was traditionally performed during the Coventry Mystery Plays, which were medieval plays telling New Testament stories. Of the few surviving plays, the pageant of the shearmen and the tailors depicts the story, the Christmas story, from the chapter 2 in the Gospel of Matthew. The carol itself refers to the massacre of the innocents, in which Herod ordered all the male infants under the age of 2 in Bethlehem to be killed. And it takes the form of a lullaby sung by the mothers of the doomed children. Within the pageant, the carol is sung by 3 women of Bethlehem who enter the stage with their children immediately after Joseph is warned by an angel to take his family to Egypt. The lyrics are heartbreaking, farewelling the children that Herod has ordered to be killed. In the 3rd verse, details Herod's harrowing orders. Herod the king in his raging charged he hath this day his men of might in his own sight all young children to slay. Surely this is the more poignant of the minor key traditional Christmas carols. Sandra Ethan is the arranger of this one, and in her hands, the traditional English carol receives a setting that is warm, sensitive, beautiful, and expressive. Santa Baby was written in 1953 by Joan Javits and Philip Springer and was originally recorded by Eartha Kitt. In August of that year, the songwriter's plan was to turn down the Santa Baby assignment. Two music publishers at the Brill Building in New York had asked Springer and Javits to write a Christmas song for Kitt, the then 26-year-old Broadway star known for her onstage magnetism. Springer, then in his late 20s, objected. Kitt is the sexiest woman in the world. You don't write Christmas songs that are sexy. How are we going to do that? The publisher's response was firm. Stick to the music, they said, and we'll worry about the rest. It's a good thing that Springer listened. On the spot, Javits came up with the idea of calling the song Santa Baby. And that was all the inspiration that he needed. He and Javits jumped into a cab, zipped to Springer's Upper East apartment, where they could work at the piano. Along the way, he hummed out a 4-note melody to go with the title. He recalled prompting Javits for the rest of the line once they got to his place, and she delivered, "Slip a sable under the tree." He added the melody to those words and asked for a 2-beat da-dum phrase as an exclamation point to the end of the lyric, and her response, "For me." That little da-dum has made a lot of money for me over the years, Springer has said. Our arrangement is by Nick Hansen, and we are thrilled to have him here to conduct his piece. Percussion and bass by Petra Bookrader and Timmy Brook. Please welcome Nick. Oh, and look, there's something blue in a Tiffany box for me. Our final selection, Christmas Eve Sarajevo, was written by Paul O'Neill, founder of the famed Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It is an instrumental melody of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen and Carol of the Bells. It is based on the story of a cello player named Vernon Smilovich, who was born in Sarajevo but left at a young age and went on to become a well-respected musician who played at various symphonies throughout Europe. Many decades later, at the height of the Bosnian War in the early 1990s, he returned to Sarajevo as an elderly man, only to find his city in complete ruins. At the time, the Serbs were shelling Sarajevo every night. On May 27, 1992 at 4 p.m., a mortar shell dropped in the middle of a crowded bread line, killing 22 people. But rather, the next day than head for the bomb shelters, like his family and neighbors, he walked to the middle of the street where the massacre had occurred, dressed in his formal performance attire. He sat on a battered camp stool in the center, took out his cello, and played Mozart and Beethoven as the city was bombed. He came every night for 22 days straight, mortar shells, bullets flying around him, to play among the bombed ruins of Sarajevo in honor of each person killed in the bombing. Many years later, a reporter tracked him down and asked him why he did such a dangerous thing. He said that it was his way of proving that despite all evidence to the contrary, the spirit of humanity was still alive in that place. Here is Christmas Eve, Sarajevo, by Paul O'Neill, arranged for bells, cello, flute, percussion by Hart Morris. We feature Felix Harper on the cello, Pam Godlove on the flute, Patrick Bookgrader, Genevieve Hansen, and Dan Freeman on percussion. Thank you so terribly much, and please enjoy your evening.
Thank you for joining us at Millennium Stage. As we prepare for another performance, we ask that you help us by heading towards